Hey, this is Tara Marie Segundo with FitandSexy.tv. We're continuing with our abdominal training. And you know I like the add-on method, so we're going to start where we left off, and we're going to progressively get more complicated with our abdominal training. I'm here again with Matt. And Matt, when we last left off, we had started using our legs in conjunction with our forward flexion. So what I'd like to do now is move both legs up. Now what I'm going to have Matt do is just keep the legs over the hip line, okay? So he's not in too close, and he's definitely not out too far. I want to give a little note here. If your legs aren't at least over the hip line, this puts stress on the low back, because when your legs are out like this, closer to the floor, automatically your lower back wants to pull forward because the muscles pull forward on the pelvic girdle, okay? So you want to put the legs, the knees, over the hip line to sort of neutralize the pelvis, neutralize the low back. He's just going to relax his knees and let his heels fall down toward his hips, okay? And now he's going to start with the forward flexion again. Let's go. Exhale. So again, we're staying with the forward flexion. We're just adding on layers. I like to do layered workouts. So he's going to continue with the forward flexion. Again, the breathing, the forced exhalation using the transverse abdominis, the forward flexion using the rectus abdominis, and the external and the internal obliques. So let's do two more and one more, okay? Now we're going to layer again. It's time to layer again. And if you're following along with us at home, just pay attention to these exercises and the sequence that I do, because you can follow along and do this, making it from very easy to a little bit harder each time. Now what I'm going to ask Matt to do, remember I said before that abdominal training usually consists of leaving the pelvic girdle fixed or the rib cage fixed, and you're moving the opposite part. You can also move the lower body, or you can move the lower and the upper body concomitantly. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have Matt move the pelvic girdle and the rib cage together. So what Matt's going to do now is, as he goes back and does his basic forward flexion, I'm going to have him exhale and curl his tailbone up off the floor and then release. All right, let's go, Matty. Exhale and release. And again, the thing I like about Matt's technique is that he doesn't do anything too fast. He just goes real slow and steady Eddie. He uses his breathing, and that way he's really using the muscles. He's not just swinging around using momentum. Because to be very honest with you, it's very easy to do this incorrectly and just pull on your neck and swing the legs around. So you want to be very careful about that, okay? And let's do that one more time. And exhale. Good. Now, we could also do a variation of this exercise, leaving the upper body down. I'm just going to have Matt put his arms at his side, okay? And I'm going to have him just do the lower half. So now we're going to leave the rib cage fixed and non-moving, and we're going to move the pelvic girdle. So now, Matt, you're going to exhale and just move the pelvic girdle and release. And exhale. And notice how when he releases, again, he doesn't let the legs fall all the way out where he arches his back and puts strain on the low back. And exhale. And release. Now, if you want to make this even harder, you can bring the legs and put them, well, let's start at 90 degrees. We're going to put them at 90 degrees first, okay? So now at 90 degrees, you can squeeze the legs together a little bit and also at the same time get a little bit of an inner thigh workout. And let's go. And release. And again, the tailbone's just kind of coming up a little bit. Exhale and release. And exhale and release. Now, if we wanted to take this one step further, again, we started with the heels just resting down near the buttocks. Step 2 would be the 90-degree angle. The third and final step that would make it the hardest would be to put the legs absolutely straight, okay? Now, what I tell my clients to do in this instance is the legs are absolutely straight. Now, here's what I don't want you to do. Maddie, let's do it wrong for a minute, to have the legs out here, okay? If you've got really tight hamstrings, the hamstrings are these muscles here that run from the back of the butt and they cross the knee joint. You may not be able to do what Matt's doing and have your legs over your hips. You may be like this. That's going to put strain on your back, because if your legs are out here, your low back is going to arch a little bit and you're going to feel pressure on your low back. So this may not be an exercise that everybody can do. If you're flexible and you can do this like Matt can, you want to hold your legs over your hips, okay? And that'll keep the back in the neutral position. Matt's going to exhale, and again, the tailbone's slightly going to lift off the mat, and he's going to really contract deep in the lower area of the abdominals. Again, you don't have lower abs and upper abs, but just the lower end of the rectus abdominis, the obliques, and of course using the transversus when he exhales. Let's go, Maddie. Heels go up to the ceiling and down. Heels go up, straight up to the ceiling. Good. And again. And we're going to do a couple more and 2 more. Again, the heels are just going up to the ceiling. He's getting a deep contraction in the lower area of his abdominals. And 1 more, Maddie. And exhale, and we're done. Okay. So basically what we've done is we've done some good work. We've gone from very basic to a little more complicated. Again, you don't necessarily want to do all of these exercises. Just do the ones that you can do that feel comfortable on your back and on your neck. And next time, what I want to talk about is some effective oblique training for the external and the internal obliques. So be sure and join us. I'm Segundo from FitandSexy.tv.